With weekly summits requiring vehicles that cost you millions of dollars at times and maybe not having the most time to play because you actually have a life, it might be important to know how to get money as fast as possible in the Crew Motorfest. So I retested all of the methods and searched for new ones here in Season 6, and here's what I came up with. Let's go! Before I get into it, if you're looking for the most helpful, to-the-point Motorfest content, you're in the right place, so consider subscribing. Thank you so much. All right, I'll quickly go over the general money-making tips that veteran players already know, but new players may not. If you're a veteran player of the game, you can probably just skip this section and move on to the test results section of the video. Just check the description for the timestamp. Money in the Crew Motorfest works like this. You get a base amount for the race, then there are a number of factors that add bonuses on top of that. You get a 20% bonus for having the rich category in your legend points completely maxed out. Go to legend points and select the rich category. To gain legend points, you will need to level up your legend track, aka your main account level, by working on one of these 3 timelines. The blue area is for playlist events. The more you do, the more you level up in this timeline. Once it gets up to level 4, all additional XP that goes in that timeline will go towards your legend track, aka your main account level. The orange area is for PvP, which includes summit events, grand races, and demolition royale. The same applies here. Level it up to level 4, and then any additional XP you earn there will go towards your main account level. And the green is the free roam activities like slaloms, speed traps, etc. And the same goes for that one. Once you have all 3 areas at level 4, literally everything you do in the game will reward you XP that goes towards your main account level. Each level you gain during a month gets you a legend point. Let's say you gain 50 levels during the month, you'll get 50 legend points at the end of the month. But keep in mind, it's only when the month is over and your total progress is tallied. Again, legend points are rewarded once per month. Now you also get an additional 36% rich bonus for having it applied on all of your parts affixes. The only way to get that full 36% is to have a full set of Bucks Magnet legendary parts with the rich affix at 3%. 3% per part gives you 21%, plus the additional 15% for the Bucks Magnet set, and that equals 36%. So the total bonus for that rich bonus is 56%. Now the next bonus is called the crew bonus. It's 15% as long as you have one friend in your party doing the same events that you are. This is limited to your platform since this game is not fully cross-platform in all aspects. This means if you have a friend on PlayStation, you cannot invite them to your Xbox party or your PC party and vice versa. After that, you have a vehicle category bonus that scales with each class. The harder you make it on yourself, the more the bonus you can get. For example, if you take an AGP car on an event meant for off-road cars, that will get you the maximum amount of bonus. AGP is meant for the road, and the event is meant for off-road. Sometimes this really doesn't make sense to try this when you're trying to get the most money possible because of how long it might take you to complete the event, but I'll discuss that in a little bit. That bonus can be very hefty though. I've seen it up to 72%, but it really only applies to a few races. Lastly, you have a modifier that you can apply to the start of the races. There are only a few modifiers, but generally you're going to use the clean driving modifier. This modifier is not applicable in PvP stuff like grand races. It only works in PvE events. The amount is different per event, and I believe it's based on the length of the race. Most of them are around 4,500, and you get an additional 3,000 if you complete the race in what's called a perfect clean driving bonus. And that's where you don't hit anything for the entire race. Now I know that's a lot to remember, so let me just sum it up for you with an example. Let's say you have a race that rewards exactly 10,000 bucks. Just for the sake of argument, the event time will be 2 minutes. So your base amount is 10,000 bucks. You get a crew bonus of 15%, that's 1,500. You get a legend points and affix bonus of 56%, that's 5,600. And you get a category bonus of 72%, that's 7,200. And finally, you actually made it through the entire course without hitting one single thing, and you get that perfect clean driving bonus of 7,500. Now that all adds up to 31,800 per race. And if you do the math on the time, that gets you 15,900 per minute and 954,000 per hour. That would be an okay event. There's a few events that are a lot better than this. I strongly suggest screenshotting this example just so you can remember the potential bonuses, but I'll also have this information later in the video. Let's move on to the actual testing. The first thing I want to address is grand races. There are a couple of different bonuses that you can only get in PvP, and that is the full lobby win bonus of 20%. And in order to get this, the race must start with a full 28 players. If players quit during the race, that's okay. The bonus is still active. The race just needs to start with 28 players. The other is the position bonus. First place gets you 130%, second place gets you 110%, third place is 80%, and it just keeps going down from there. But don't worry, grand racing is not even close to the best way to get money. It's more of a fun way to get it if that's an activity you enjoy. If your goal is to get the most money possible for your time, then Hummer Express is the method you want to use. The method requires some explaining, so don't leave the video just yet. You can get up to 1.4 million per hour with a moderate pace. If you are a super slow racer, that number will decrease a little bit, but 1.4 is possible for the average player. Riding in my Buick is second with 1.26 million per hour. This takes a bit of skill though, so I think that type of money might only be possible for players with slightly above average skills or better than that. Get It or Don't Come Back is an absolutely brain dead race that basically goes straight, and you can make around 1.2 million per hour. So if you're struggling in the skill department, this might be a good option for you. And finally, Kiss Me Combi is another brain dead race, and you can make around 1.1 million per hour. All right, let me show you how to get that 1.4 million bucks per hour using Hummer Express. You must first complete the Electric Odyssey playlist in order to gain access to its custom mode. And that goes for all the playlists. If you're looking to unlock the custom mode, you have to finish the playlist first. Now, once you've finished it, go over to the Hummer Express race start and change the modifier to clean driving. Then go to the top and select a vehicle. For this race, you're going to want to select an AGP car to get the maximum category bonus. Make sure you have your legendary parts set with the Bucks Magnet set bonus and the rich affixes fully maxed out. Then check your legend points to make sure you have the rich category all the way full. And lastly, make sure you have the rewind feature turned off in your difficulty settings. I'll explain why in just a bit. At this point, you are ready to grind. So go ahead and start the race. And remember, if you're in a crew, you'll get that extra 15% for crew bonus. The path you want to take for this is very specific. This is a car delivery mission with no checkpoints. You can drive wherever you want to get to the finish line. So I'm just going to show you the quickest path so you get the most money per hour. All right, so at the start of the race, you're actually going to be turning right, going across this field here, and meeting up with this road on the right side here. Now you'll continue to follow the yellow line on your mini-map, making every turn that it makes until you get across the bridge. So left there, right here, cross the bridge, and then you're going to be taking a right at this green sign. Meet up with the road right over here. Then go straight through the trees, reset once you hit the ground, and then you'll take this dirt road. Let me pause right here for a second. To reset your car, this is why you need rewind off. Go to your difficulty settings, turn rewind off before you start this race. Because when you hit the rewind button, it'll reset you when it's off. All right, once you've got to this dirt road, you're gonna continue on. And when you get to the end of this, you're just gonna go straight to meet up with the pavement on the other side. So go straight here. Try not to hit cars. That'll just slow you down. Then you're gonna follow this road around. You're not going to be paying attention much to the yellow line at this point. Just go ahead and stay on the road, follow it around. And then when you get down here, you're going to cut off the road and you can actually see the finish line ahead of you. You're going to try to maintain a straight course and go around this big mountain right here. So notice I'm maintaining this straight course. If the car starts to drift at all, you're going to lose control. The key to keeping AGP cars in control on the dirt is to be in a gear higher and to not use NOS barely at all. Little taps if you have to use it. Keep it in a higher gear if you can. If you're not on manual, that's okay too. But never let go of the throttle. Always keep the throttle pin before you get onto the dirt, then after you get to the dirt. Never take your foot off the throttle. and your car shouldn't spin out. Now you can see on this one, the bucks I earned were 38,505. If I had the crew bonus of 15%, that's an extra 2,000, and that gives you over 40,000 per attempt. And for this one, only taking a minute and 17 seconds. That is extremely fast. You've only got about 20 seconds to restart the race and go again. So you're looking at right around that mark that I said, about 100 seconds between runs. So this is by far the most rewarding race in the shortest amount of time. All right, by now you're a money grinding expert and you can apply this knowledge to any event in the game. But I'll show you my test results one more time so you can screenshot them to remember which events are the best. Notice I also have columns in there that show the amount of time in seconds it takes to complete the race and restart it, which includes loading screens. I've also noted the best class to use and all the bonuses laid across the top and whether those are applicable to that event. I've also included all the new Red Bull Speed Clash events so that you can see how they stack up as well. And finally, don't forget that this season they're introducing Grand Race boosts. I have yet to experience one, but even if it's an additional 50% bonus, that only makes you 20,000 more per race, giving you a total of 140,000 more per hour, which is still not even $1 million per hour when you win every single race and all of the lobbies are full. Grand races are just not it when it comes to making money, so unless that race boost is like 200%, it really doesn't even make sense to use that as your money method. All right, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this helps, as that is always my goal. I will catch you on the next one. Trigger out.